Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening sa ating lahat mga kaibigan. Sana po ay nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan habang nanonood sa ating video presentation na ito. So ang ating tatalakayin sa video na ito ay tungkol sa disqualification, cancellation, and revocation of pardon and parole. Sino-sino ang mga disqualified, kailan maka-cancel, o kaya naman ay marirevoke ang pardon and parole. No? So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the ground for forfeiture of pardon and parole. And yung pangalawa, no, you should be able to understand the proceeding of the Board of Pardon and Parole in the forfeiture of pardon and parole. Okay? So what is the objective of investigation conducted by the Boards of Pardon and Parole or yung tinatawag natin na BPP? And ano nga ba yung investigation na sinasabi dyan? Yung investigation na sinasabi dyan ay yung tinatawag na pre-parole investigation. Kapag ka ang isang PDL ay qualified na para mabigyan ng parole. Okay? At siya ay nagpetition for parole. Kapag executive clemency naman, ang ginagawang investigation ay yung tinatawag na pre-executive clemency investigation. Diba? Ano nga ba yung objective na investigation na yan? Okay, the objective of the investigation conducted by the BPP, no, is to provide them with necessary and relevant information which can be used in determining whether the prisoner is fit for parole or any form of executive clemency, no, para makita kung sila ba ay karapat dapat na mabigyan ng parole o kaya naman ay executive clemency once na sila ay nag-petition, mga kaibigan, no? So what is the scope of investigation? Yan. So ano yung sakop ng iniimbestigahan? Oh, the task involved the investigation and evaluation. Anong iniimbestigahan po nila? Physical condition ng pong PDL. Kasama na yung mental and moral background nito and yung record niya habang naka-confine sa jails, no, like city jail, and district jail, and national penitentiary and penal colonies who are eligible for parole or executive clemency. Okay? At syempre, anong purpose ng investigation na yon? It will provide the jail and prison wardens with useful tool for better understanding their wards or yung kanilang nasasakupan and identifying the most appropriate rehabilitation program and procedures for them. And syempre, kung sila ay nag-grant ng parole or conditional pardon, to provide the supervising officer with information needed for the supervision ng client, mga kaibigan. So yun ang purpose, no? Yan. So ang scope niya ay physical, mental, moral background and to include the records of prisoners confined in city jail and national penitentiary. Ang purpose ng investigation ay para makita kung ano yung proper rehabilitation program, no, para po sa mga petitioner once na sila ay na-release on parole or pardon, no. Ayan. Kaya nga sabi ni Sir Cesar Lombroso, there are reasons why people commit crime, no? And those reasons need to be determined bago ma-implement yung tinatawag na individualized treatment program, no? So yun yung information na makukuha, yun ang basis ng rehabilitation program at syempre yung supervising officer, no, from PPA, alam na kung ano yung supervision plan para sa client. Yan, no? Then who are the beneficiaries of the investigation? Now, all prisoners confined in jail or prison serve indeterminate prison sentence. So pag sinabi nating indeterminate, there is no exact date of release provided in his sentence. So ito yung naka-range. Ito yung sabi natin na undetermined yung date of release kasi meron po siyang minimum, like for example reclusion temporal 12 years, 1 day hanggang 20 years. So meron siyang minimum, meron din siyang maximum, ganon, no? And have already served a minimum period of the said sentence. Kung ang a-applyan ay parole, dapat na-serve na yung minimum sentence. Ganon. Okay, pero kung ang a-applyan ay conditional pardon, syempre yan po ay 1/2 of the maximum naman. Okay? So depende sa a-applyan whether siya ay mag-a-apply ng conditional pardon, kailangan niya na ma-serve muna yung 1/2 of maximum. Kapag parole naman ay minimum sentence. So like for example, if an offender was sentenced to reclusion temporal, dapat ay nakaserve na siya sa kulungan ng 12 years and 1 day bago siya pwedeng mag-avail ng parole. Pero kapag ka naman conditional pardon, ang kailangan niya 10 years kasi 1/2 of maximum yon. So ang maximum is 20 and the half of that is 10. So pwede na siyang mag-avail ng conditional pardon, which is one of the executive clemency given by the President. Okay? So ano ba yung mga executive clemency na sinasabi dyan na binabanggit? Meron po tayong absolute pardon, no? Executive clemency po yan, pero dapat na-serve na yung maximum sentence. Meron din yung tinatawag na reprieve, that is postponement of execution of death penalty. Meron din yung tinatawag na commutation of sentence. The sentence will only be reduced pero hindi lalaya yung tao. At syempre yung pang-apat dyan ay conditional pardon, mga kaibigan. Yan yung mga sole prerogative ng president, mga kapatid, no? Yan. Kasi nung nakaraang board exam, tinanong po yan, which of the following is not an example of executive clemency? Tapos ang dinagdag nila, probation. Okay? So probation is a judicial process. Next, when the BPP review cases for parole, okay, ilan po re-reviewin ni BPP yung mga cases para sa pag-grant ng parole under or unless otherwise disqualified under Section 15 ng IRR ng 4103, a case for parole of prisoner shall be reviewed upon showing that he is confined in jail to serve an indeterminate sentence, the maximum of which exceed 1 year dapat. Ano? Kasi kung 1 year lang, disqualified yan. Yan na yung tinatawag na straight penalty. And bago siya ma-review for parole, ay dapat na-serve na yung minimum period ng sentence. So pakitandaan, so what is the sentence that must be served before a certain PDL will be qualified for parole? Minimum period of his or her sentence. When parole may be granted. Okay, ilan naman ginagrant ang parole, no? A prisoner may be granted for parole whenever the board finds that there is reasonable probability that if a certain person is released, he will become a law-abiding citizen or individual, and that his release will not be incompatible with the interest and yung kaligtasan or welfare ng society. So kung magiging or siya or ayon sa investigation ay may potential na siya ay magiging law-abiding citizen, ay pwede po siyang mag-grant ng parole by the BPP. Who are disqualified for parole? No? Under Section 15, sino-sino nga ba yung mga disqualified for parole? Number 1, those convicted of offense punishable by death penalty, reclusion perpetua, or life imprisonment, since yung mga yan ay non-parolable penalties. Okay, ano pa? Those convicted of treason, conspiracy, proposal to commit treason, at saka espionage, no? So yan yung mga non-probationable crime or non-parolable naman ito, non-parolable crime, no? Yan yung mga pwedeng mag-grant ng amnesty. those convicted of misprision of treason, rebellion, sedition, or coup d'etat, and those convicted of piracy or mutiny in high seas or Philippine waters. And number 5, those who are habitual delinquent. Dahil sa kanilang reiterasyon. Sino ba yung habitual delinquent? Those within a period of 10 years from the date of release or mula sa last conviction nung siya ay pinakawalan, nakakommit na naman siya ng crime na serious or less serious physical injuries, robbery, theft, estafa, and falsification or falsification. Found guilty of any said crime, third time or opener, akalain nyo yun, ano? Wala pang 10 taon mula nung siya ay makalaya, ay nakakomit na naman ng another crime, no? Diyan sa mga nabanggit na crimes. Okay? So sino pa? Those who escaped from confinement, mga tumakas, no? Those who were granted for conditional pardon, kasi nga mas mabilis yung conditional pardon kasi 1/2 of maximum. Subalit, nag-violate ng terms and condition ng conditional pardon. Those maximum term of imprisonment does not exceed 1 year. Okay? Or those with definite sentence. Ito yung straight penalty, no? And number 8, those suffering from mental disorder as certified by the government psychiatrist or psychologist, those whose conviction is on appeal since kung naka-appeal yung tao ay under siya ng judicial branch pa lang, mga kaibigan. Kaya kapag naka-appeal, hindi po pwedeng i-grant ang parole. And those who have pending criminal case, so ganun din. Okay, with respect to separation of powers, mga kaibigan, no? So, pwede pong gawing situational yung question diyan, ano? Pero alam naman natin na kahit gawing situational, dapat base pa rin sa basic principles. So, for example, tatanungin diyan, ano? Mr. Cardo Dalisay was convicted for a crime that carries with it the penalty of reclusion temporal. After serving his sentence, he again committed another crime, okay, such as robbery and theft. Yan. Will she be qualified to avail for parole? Siyempre hindi na, no? So, madi-disqualified siya dahil siya'y habitual delinquent. Ganon, di ba? So, yan yung mga disqualification. No? Kaya, sabihin dito, no? Those whose conviction is on appeal. Or Cardo Dalisay, conviction is on appeal. After serving minimum of his sentence, can he avail for parole? Hindi kasi naka-appeal no? Yan. When parole may be deferred. Kailan naman i-deferred yung pag-release, no? Doon sa isang PDL na qualified naman na maparolan na. So if based on the pre-parole investigation report or yung tinatawag na PPIR, yan, conducted on a prisoner, there is a clear and convincing evidence that his release on parole will endanger his own life and those of his relative or life and safety of well-being ng biktima or his relatives, his witnesses, and community. The release of prisoner shall be deferred hanggang mawala na yung danger. No? So basta meron pong sitwasyon na kung saan ay makakapagdulot ng panganib sa buhay, buhay man nung i-release, buhay ng testigo, i-defer hanggang mawala po yung danger. Okay, so who may interview person deprived of liberty? Sino magi-interview, no? So any board member, okay, or government official authorized by the board or the BPP. Usually ang nag-i-interview diyan ay yung mga members ng PPA ang ina-authorize ni BPP para mag-interview sa mga prisoner confined in prison or jail, whether they may be released on parole or be recommended for executive clemency. The board or its authorized representative shall interview inmate who was sentenced to. Sino yung mga ini-interview na inmate? Yung mga nasentensyahan ng reklusyon perpetua, life imprisonment, or whose sentence had been commuted from death to reclusion perpetua. No? So before an interview, nung mga nakakommit ng heinous crime, ano muna ang kailangan na gagawin, no? So yung mga nakakommit ng heinous crime, para makita yung kanilang mental stability before the interview, they must undergo what we call a psychological and psychiatric examination para makita kung mentally stable yung isang individual, no? Or if the void finds the need for such examination in the light of nature of offense committed or manner of its commission. So pakitandaan nyo, napakadali naman yan. Ano? Ang ini-interview na mga pwedeng mag-grant ng parole or executive clemency, yung mga nasentensya ng reclusion perpetua, or life imprisonment, or death na commute, no, commuted to reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment. Kapag ka naman nakakommit ng heinous crime, yung i-interviewin dapat ay nag-undergo ng psychological and psychiatric examination. Anong purpose? Para makita ang mental stability. Yan, no? Next question. Whose name should be published in a newspaper of general circulation? Usually, dalawa pa yan, no? Na newspaper is national in circulation at yan ay ipapublish sa loob ng 30 days, no? Now, the board shall cause the publication of newspaper in general circulation. The names of prisoners convicted of heinous crime or those sentenced by final judgment to reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment who may be considered for release. So take note, who may be considered for release on parole or for recommendation for absolute or conditional pardon. So yung mga nakakommit ng heinous crime na eligible ay ipapublish po sa dalawang newspaper, national in circulation, within 30 days, mga kaibigan. Tapos magbibigay naman ng comment yung mga gustong mag-comment. Yan, no? What procedure should the board undertake if an objection is raised against a petition for parole or petition for executive clemency? When an objection is filed, the board may consider, no? Iko-consider lang nila. Then, ire-request nila yung taong nag-o-object na mag-attach ng evidence. So, pag sinabing evidence, pwedeng documentary, object, or testimony in support sa kanyang objection. Okay? In no case, wala nga lang cases na kung saan yung objection ay makakapag-disqualify doon sa isang eligible for executive clemency or parole. Okay, against whom the objection is filed. It will not disqualify the applicant if that applicant is eligible for parole or executive clemencies, no? So what are the documents to be considered in investigation? The karpeta, no? Ano ba yung karpeta? Ito yung jail records. Lahat ng mga record ng inmate sa jail, ang tawag nyo ay karpeta or jacket. Yung prison record naman, ito yung kapag insular prisoner, kasama na dyan yung karpeta and other documents na po. So, kaya kapag insular prisoner, pag galing sa BJMP yan, pag ibinyahe, kasama si karpeta or si jacket, no? Yan. Of the prisoner and relevant documents. Ano pa yung mga relevant or important documents or connected or documents which is connected, mitimus. Yan po yung for service of sentence. Pagka commitment order naman for consignment. Sinong nag-i-issue or sino yung nag-i-issue ng mitimus? Court. Sinong nag-i-issue ng commitment order? Court and other qualified individuals to issue commitment order for consignment. Ganon din yung prosecutor's information, the trial or appellate court decision of the case of the prisoner shall be considered by the board in deciding whether or not to recommend a certain individual for executive clemency or to grant parole. In case a prisoner has one or more co-accused, no, sila ay iisa yung ginawa nilang krimen who had been convicted, the board shall consider this at the same time the prison records and carpetas of the co-accused. Yan. So what are the factors to be considered in the petition for conditional pardon or commutation of sentence? Ano yung mga kinoconsider naman ng BPP? yung age ng petitioner, syempre kung mga matatanda na, kung pwedeng i-recommend for executive clemency, the gravity of offense, and the way it was committed to include the institutional behavior, yun yung good conduct and time allowance ay titingnan din. And the previous criminal record if any. Ano pa? Evidence that the petitioner will be legitimately employed. Siyempre, kung walang mapasukang trabaho, paglabas, para mag-survive, anong gagawin niya? Di ba? Then, evidence showing that the petitioner has place where he will reside. Availability ng aftercare, lalo na kapag old na yung papakawalan, okay, old, seriously ill, or suffering from physical disability. No? Yan, so tinitingnan din po yan. Attitude towards the offense and degree of remorse, yung pagsisisi ay tinitingnan din kung ang isang PDL ay karapat dapat na mabigyan ng parole or conditional pardon or commutation of sentence or reduction of service of sentence. Siyempre, yung risks, yung isa. Okay, to other person including victim, witness, o kaya sa kanyang pamilya. So when a prisoner be granted for parole, whenever the board find that there is reasonable probability na pag ni-release, magiging law-abiding na. No? O, pakitandaan yan. Who may grant parole to a prisoner? Sino bang nag-grant ng parole? That is the Board of Pardons and Parole. Yan. Sir, ano yung PPA naman? Ang PPA, ang ginagawa lang niyan ay gumagawa ng investigation tapos sila ang nagsusuper by supervision of clients sa kanila mga kaibigan kasama na si probationer. Okay? So who grant parole to a prisoner? The BPP or Boards of Pardon and Parole, an agency under the Office of Secretary of Justice. Dati nga yung Secretary of Justice ex officio chairperson. Pero ngayon by virtue of Executive Order number 868, no? Ang chairperson na ng BPP ay may rango na under secretary na. Under secretary yung chairperson. Tapos yung mga members, mga assistant secretary. So what happens if the parolee violates the conditions of parole? Nag-violate ng condition ng parole, the parolee shall be arrested and recommitted. Diba? Hindi ba kailangan ng warrant of arrest? Hindi, kasi ko-consider siya as escape prisoner. No, ngayon, kapag nakabalik, anong portion ng sentence ang isa-serve? Maximum period of sentence. So like for example, nung nakapakawalan siya, 5 years na lang yung kanyang tatapusin sa labas. No, kaso nga lang, after 4 years, siya ay nag-violate ng condition ng parole. Okay, pag nag-violate ng condition ng parole, ang report na isasubmit ay tinatawag na violation report. Kapag ka naman nag-commit ng crime pero hindi pa convicted, no, and not yet convicted, ang ipapasa naman ay status report. Kapag ka naman convicted na, ano, kapag ka convicted na, then anong report ang ipapasa ni PPA sa BPP? Yan yung tinatawag natin na okay, yan yung kapag ka nag-commit ng crime tapos convicted na, no, commit crime and convicted na subsequently, then ang report na isasubmit ay yung tinatawag na infraction report. Yan, no? So, ganyan po mga kaibigan yung mga report. Kapag ka nagkaroon ng violation report, paroli pardoni yung nag-violate, then magre-recommit or the BPP will order the recommitment of the client to the prison. Okay, so hanggang dyan na lamang mga kaibigan yung ating video presentation na ito. Sana ay meron kayo napulot na aral na pwede nyong gamitin para sagutin yung mga katanungan sa inyong PIRU examination. Thank you very much. Good day and mabuhay.